Hello everyone, we're here today to learn how to use Google Meet. Meet is a video conferencing platform like Zoom that allows you to video chat one-on-one or in a large group setting. In this video, we will see how to get started, learn about basic controls you'd want to know, advanced features, and about classroom integration. To begin, you can either go to meet.google.com or on a Google page, go to the waffle app icon in the top and select the Google Meet camera icon. Make sure you are signed in to Meet with your district account. There are different ways to start a meeting. Click on the new meeting icon and you'll see three options. Start an instant meeting starts a meeting in that moment. Create a meeting for later generates a join code for a meeting and then gives you the option to copy and paste this information elsewhere. Note that you cannot retrieve this later if you don't paste it anywhere. I would recommend doing the third option, schedule in Google Calendar, because not only does it pre-generate the code to share out, but it also gives you the option to add invites to the meeting and also saves the meeting code to retrieve later in Google Calendar. So add your title of your meeting, adjust the date and time. Here's the code. You could add guests and click save, and then it shows up on your Google Calendar. Note, upcoming meetings you have scheduled will show up here to the right to start. Now that we know how to set up a meeting, let's jump into one to learn the controls. To jump into your meeting, you can go a couple different ways. You can go to your Google Calendar, click on the link there. If you have the code, you can type it in here. Or because this is a meeting that I have set up previously and it's upcoming, then I can just click on the link here. This is kind of your next little landing page. Just kind of check in and test out your equipment before everything's going. So this is where you can check your sound levels, camera, make sure all that is working. You can run this little test down here at the bottom. If everything is all good, then I can click join now to join the meeting. Here we are inside the meeting. So right now I'm in here by myself, so I'm going to kind of go through the tools here at the bottom really quickly, kind of across the board, and then some of them I'll skip over and save for our advanced section. So going across the bottom, we have our microphone that's turned on and off. We have our camera to toggle on and off, closed captioning. If I turn on closed captioning, it will show all the words down below. It's not perfect, but it'll do if somebody's needing that. This is the raise hand icon. This is for participants when they want to signal that they want to speak. Then to call on them, you can use that raise hand function. This is the present now and share screen. So when I click on that, I select what I want to share. I can click on, let's say, window. And when you're doing that, click share, select which one I want to do. It'll give you the option to share audio. So you want to make sure that you do toggle that on if you are playing a video or something like that. All right, we're going to skip over the menu. This is to end the call, of course. So when you click that, you will get the option to end the call for everyone or just leave the call. That means if you just leave the call, that people that are in your meet will still be in the meeting, whereas end the call will kick everybody out. So you want to make sure that is okay. End the call for everyone, for most cases for you. The little eye icon, this one will give you the meeting details, so you can kind of copy and send them out if somebody's needing it. The people icon here, this is where you're going to see everybody who's in your meeting. This is where you'll be able to send an invite from within the meet. This is where you can mute everybody. And then when you're hovering over different people, you'll be able to mute them individually as well too. And then this is the messaging chat tab. Here, this is where you can send and see the messages. You could also toggle on and off if everybody can send messages or not. And then this is activities one. We'll skip that and come back. The most important one you probably want to start with is the host controls. This kind of determines whether people can share their screen, message, turn on or off the microphone or whatnot. So do check those settings, make sure they're set for what you want. The other big one that you want to kind of look at is quick access. So by default, quick access is turned on when you go into the meeting. That means everybody who has an invite can automatically go into that meeting. Now, if somebody is outside of our domain, so somebody who doesn't have the cookie.k12.ca.us domain, then it will prompt you that when that person joins, that you can admit them in or not. When you have this turned off like this means everybody, regardless of whether they're within our organization, they'll be asked to join. So you could leave that off if you just want to make sure that you get notified when people are joining in. And then down here we have a few more controls for one of the activities, which we'll go over later, which is the question and answer one. But there's some options there for you to set. All right, so we're going to go back and revisit the Present Now feature. So if I click on that, I can decide again what I'm going to share. This time I'm going to choose a tab, and I can choose from different tabs. I'll select this one to start. Down here, you can kind of see that little check mark for Share Tab Audio. Now, even if I don't want to share audio, I'd recommend keeping that on, and I'll show you in a second why. So when I click Share, now I'm in Share mode. So this is kind of the screen that others are seeing. Right now, I'm on a split screen, so I can go over and control Zoom, and this is kind of what people in the meet are seeing. If I was having one screen, this tab here will kind of, the little bar will open, and I could actually tab back and forth between the meet and what I'm sharing. Down here is presentation audio toggle, so I actually can turn off audio if I didn't want it after all, so you get that option when you turn it on. And then the stop sharing, you actually got a couple different places. I can click here to stop sharing, I can click over here to stop sharing, or I can click down here and do stop presenting or sharing, same thing. And that'll take me back to the meet here. All right, so now we're going to go to the more options, the kind of big menu here, and we got a few extra things here. So one of which is a whiteboard, and this whiteboard actually lives over in the activities as well too, so I'm going to skip that one for right now. Some of the other ones you may want to play with is recording meetings. So this will record a meeting and save it to your Google Drive that you can access later. Change layout. This is going to, it'll default to auto, but if you want to force it into a spotlight layout, you can do that. And you can adjust like how many tiles you're seeing on one screen. If you scroll over, so you can kind of play with that. So the next one that you probably want to pay attention to is apply visual effects. So this is going to change your background. So whether I'm having no blur, blur, more blur, and there's some different ones you can kind of choose from too if you want a little bit more of a still or animated background, and you can have some fun picking different things there. All right. So then if I go down to back to here and I go to settings, this is where I can kind of mess with the settings a little bit. I can make sure the microphone, if I'm not on the right one, or speakers, I could adjust those things there. Same thing with the camera. You could even auto the resolution. You can just keep it on auto, or if you want to force it up or down, you can do that there as well too. Auto adjust lighting, and then some other little settings in there as well too. So you can kind of play with those to see if fine tune it. The other thing that you want to look at that we kind of skipped over for is activities. So we got a few activities here with our license. So we do have breakout rooms. So when I choose breakout rooms, I'm going to have, you'll see the people in here. When I want to set up the rooms, click setup. I could add, change the amount of rooms I want, if I want to increase or decrease the amount of rooms. If I want to set the timer for how long, I could do that, or else it'll just wait until you end the breakout room. Shuffle will automatically put people randomly into breakout rooms. You could also click and drag people into different rooms as well too, or type their names in. If I want to cancel a breakout room, I just click remove room, and you can kind of play with that. And if I click open rooms, that will move people in. People do have the ability to move back to the main room as well too. So if I click open, it'll force people in. You can see people are in session. And then if I want to close rooms, To bring people back here, I click close it. It will close people in 30 seconds. If I want to skip the 30 seconds and force people back in right away, I'll just click again where it says close rooms now, and it forces people back in. And I can even go back in here, and I skipped over this, but you can rename the rooms if you want to specify that as well too for yourself. All right, so other activities that are here, there's some polls. So if I want to start a poll and get some results, I could do that within my Meet. I could also do a little Q&A. So this gives the ability for people to ask questions. It kind of separates it out from the chat a little bit, where it's just like questions, things to be addressed, so it doesn't get mixed in with the other messaging. So, and you have the ability to turn that on or off, whether they do anonymously or not, and so you could control that within there, or if, again, under those host controls, the little Q&A part is down here as well too. Again, recording is here, so you have it in a couple different places, and then the whiteboarding is here as well too. So we saw those two also over here, whiteboarding, recording over here. These were kind of like the first ones that they had. So whiteboarding starts a new Google Jamboard to choose from. So you can either start a new one and it kind of shares it with everybody, or you could have your one already pre-existing in Google Drive to choose from. Okay, so those are more of the advanced features. Again, kind of like when we first used Zoom, I would play with it a little bit, set up a Meet with somebody else, and kind of play with the controls a little bit. If you can get like 3 people in a Meet to practice with, that's probably most ideal, so you can kind of see all the different controls. All right, so let's take a look at a cool Google Classroom feature to make sure you're aware it's there. So if you need to turn it off, and check that out. So what you can do is, well, first I'm going to leave this call. So I'm going to leave, and I'm going to end the call for everyone. And so now what I want to do is I'm going to go to classroom.google.com, and it takes me to my Google Classrooms. I'm going to jump into a Google Classroom here. So what's nice about the Google integration is that we have Google Meet here. So students in this class can actually click on the join button to be all joined in without knowing code. So it kind of auto invites them as because they're part of this classroom. Now you can turn this on or off for students. So right now you can see it's visible to students. It's letting you know that. So there are a couple places to find where to turn this off. It is turned on for you. So if you click the 3 little dots, you can go to manage, and then I can turn that off so it's not visible to students. Or I can go up to the little gear icon, I can scroll down here, and then I can toggle it on or off here. Now keep in mind, you'll always have a Classroom Meet like link that's kind of assigned to your classroom regardless. It's just whether it's visible to the students or not. Okay. The other piece to know is students can't go into a classroom without you being the host actually being in it first. So just because they see it, that doesn't mean they can't go in it if you are not in that classroom. Well, that's all for my Google Meet video. If you have any questions, just reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help you out. Whether you're using these for parent conferences, or whether you're doing a virtual class, or just want to meet with another teacher, it's got multi-purpose here. So let me know if you have any questions moving forward.